And we are back. NFL Week 3 predictions. To recap last week, I ended up going 14-2, making my season total 29-3, getting my lock of the week right as well. In case you're curious, the games I did get wrong were the Seahawks, Steelers, and the Broncos, Colts. With the Panthers, Cardinals being my lock of the week, the Cardinals getting the dub puts me to 2-0. Going to get right into week 3. Starting out, we have the Thursday night football game, all games in Eastern Standard Time. We have the Dolphins, who are 0-2, at the Bills, who are 2-0. This is a very big game for both teams. Will the Bills, escape the trap game? Obviously, I'd imagine the Bills are heavily favored in this game. The Dolphins, on the other hand, one more loss, especially like this to a division opponent, back-to-back, would probably mean their season, even though being week 3, you could probably say it's over, and I don't think people would disagree. The Bills, I'm going to take the win. This is in Buffalo on a short week against a Dolphins team who has not looked great. There's already so many concerns about players and coaches. This is a horrible start to a season for the Dolphins. Meanwhile, the Bills off to a fire start, and I don't think anything's going to change for both sides. Give me the Bills. Moving on to our 1 p.m. games, we have the Bengals, who are 2-0, at the Vikings, who are 1-1. The Bengals got the win over the Jaguars, while the Vikings ended up losing to the Falcons. The key thing to note about this game it is going to be a backup bowl. We have Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz is what the projected lineup's going to be. Who knows if that changes at all. I'm personally going to go with the Vikings strictly because I think the Vikings actually have a good O-line, so they can counter that Bengals pass rush. And then outside of that, the Bengals don't really have much to rely on, so I think the Vikings will be able, even with a backup, be able to air it out to Justin Jefferson, Jalen Nailor, Adam Thielen. And the Bengals, I think this will be one of those high-scoring games because same thing, I think the Bengals offense is so high-powered. Even for a good-looking defense like the Vikings, I think it'll do enough to get them to win, but it'll definitely be a close one. I'm taking the Vikings in this one. Texans at Jaguars. Texans 0-2 after losing yet another close one to a good team, the Buccaneers. While the Jaguars, 1-1, we just talked about, they actually lost to the Bengals. This is very important for the Texans because starting 0-2 is really tough. Starting 0-3 would be even worse. Because we know they can be good. We saw them hang in there with the Rams and the Buccaneers, who are both 2-0 at this point. We saw the Jaguars. They did amazing against the Panthers week 1. They held in there with the Bengals week 2. This should be a good game, a very fun one to watch if you're both sides. I'm going to go with the Texans here strictly because I don't think the Texans can afford to start 0-3. I think their mindset going into this game is going to be our season. It is only week 3, and it is already on the line. I'm taking the Texans to win. Moving on, we got another AFC South matchup. We got the Colts, who are 2-0, at the Titans, who are 0-2. Colts get a stunning victory over the Broncos, while the Titans lose to the Rams. I'm going to take the Colts here. There's no, talking about this one. The Colts look amazing. I don't think they're going to lose to the Titans, who have looked, well, like a young, up-and-coming team who, have no experience. Yeah, they're still getting their footing, but they're showing flashes. I don't think that's going to come together week 3. I think the Colts are going to continue their dominant run. Give me the Colts. Raiders and Commanders. This is actually looking like a very fun one on paper. Raiders 1-1. They ended up losing to the Chargers on Monday night, while the Commanders ended up losing to the Packers on Thursday night. I'm going to take the Commanders. I think this will actually be a really fun game to watch. I think Geno Smith's going to have a much better game than he did Monday. I think Jaden Daniels is going to have a much better game than he did Thursday. I just think the Commanders team is just better overall, and I think that's going to be what decides this game is, what impact player is going to make a play. And when you look at the Raiders, there isn't really many. You have Max Crosby, but on his own, he is not going to hoist them to the level they need to be. And then you got the Commanders, who have, rookie of the year quarterback, and then a defense that, has a dangerous, front line. Rams and Eagles, this is another one that is going to be thrilling. Rams 2-0 after a win over the Titans. The Eagles 2-0 after a win over the Chiefs. One of these teams, barring a tie, we always hate ties, is going to lose their first game of the season. And I have it being the Eagles. Give me the Rams winning this one. The Rams almost beat the Eagles last year in the divisional round with a, in my opinion, significantly worse team. And with that being said, the Rams had an amazing team last year, so that just shows how dominant that Eagles team was. But I think the Rams are just going to simply outcoach the Eagles. And I think this is going to be a nail-biter to the very end. But I think the Rams are just going to find a way to win this game. They tried to last year. They failed barely. I think this year with a much improved team and a lot of guys getting, that extra year of experience, I think the Rams are going to win this one. Falcons and Panthers. Falcons 1-1, Panthers 0-2. The Falcons coming off of a nice win over the Vikings, while the Panthers almost came back on the Cardinals but fell just short at the end. I think the Panthers are going to ride with this momentum in home, and I think they're going to win this game. It's very crazy for me to say the Panthers look like one of the worst teams in the league, but I think when it comes to this division game, they're just going to know how to play it perfectly. And I think they're going to get the win, whether it be blowout or barely. I'm actually really confident in the Panthers. Now, with that being said, it's the Panthers, so I shouldn't feel confident at all. They could choke this away or just straight up suck. But, oh well. I mean, my opinion's out there now. No change in that. Steelers-Patriots, a game a few years ago would be very interesting to watch. Now, not really. Steelers 1-1 after a loss to the Seahawks. Patriots 1-1 after a win over the Dolphins. I'm going to go with the Patriots here strictly because it's in home. The Patriots have the better team. There's really no denying that. I think Drake May is just going to simply outduel Aaron Rodgers. So I would say there's actually a good world where the Steelers win this game because of the experience they have. It's just the Patriots, they're such a young, high-power offense that I don't think there's really a way that they lose this game offensively. Maybe their defense sells them, and it's one of those Jets-Steelers shootouts, but yeah. Packers-Browns. Packers 2-0, coming off of a win over the Commanders on Thursday night, while the Browns coming off of an embarrassing loss to the Ravens. It was like 41-17. I'm going to take the Packers here. I think it's pretty obvious. The Packers are 2-0 for a reason. They have looked dominant. The Browns, on the other hand, are 0-2. They have looked like a dog that's been shot in the leg. It's that bad. With that being said, upsets always happen. I am concerned about that. I don't know why I have that feeling that Cleveland's going to magically turn into the greatest team on earth, but I'm taking the Packers for now. Final 1 o'clock game, we have the Jets 0-2. In the Buccaneers, 2-0 with the Jets losing to the Bills and the Buccaneers getting a nail-biter win over the Texans. I'm taking the Buccaneers. One's 0-2 for a reason, one's 2-0. Justin Fields is questionable going into this game. I think he's a big focal point of that offense. I think with Tyrod Taylor, it's just not going to be the same. With that being said, I think the Buccaneers are going to game plan around them amazingly. The Buccaneers are actually very injured themselves, but I really like the Buccaneers' next man up mentality I saw on Monday night, even though you could definitely see the flaws. They were playing with so much heart, and they got the win because of it. Broncos and Chargers, our 4:05 game. We have two of them. 1-1 Broncos coming off of a game-losing field goal to the Colts, while the Chargers coming off of a great win over the Raiders. I'm going to take the Broncos here strictly because I don't see the Broncos losing twice, especially to a team like the Colts and then the Chargers. I think they're going to just know how to play this game, want it more. I think the Chargers are going to get a bit too comfortable saying, hey, we're 2-0 with 2 quality wins in the division. We have a chance to go 3-0. The Chargers, if they win this third division game in a row, I think it's already going to be over. I think they've already won the division because being 3-0 already 3 weeks in would be mind-blowing. But I'm going to take the Broncos. Saints, Seahawks. We don't really have to talk about this game much. Saints 0-2. They lost to the 49ers. Seahawks 1-1. They beat the Steelers. The Seahawks looked amazing last week. I think they're only going to build off that, especially against a much weaker opponent, in my opinion. I think the Seahawks are going to win this game. And it'll be surprisingly close, but it also won't be. It'll be one of those where the Saints probably hang around, but, the Seahawks are going to dominate. Cowboys-Bears, 4:25. The Cowboys coming off of a 1-1 win over the Giants in a thriller 37-34 or 40-30, something like that. Bears 52-17 loss or 52-21 loss to the Lions. They got embarrassed, which is why I think the Bears are going to come back stronger. I don't know why. I think the Bears are going to rally in this game, and they are going to win this one. There's literally no reason I should pick them with how they've played, but here we are. I'm picking them. Cardinals 49ers, this is a huge one. 2-0 division games. Cardinals coming off of a win over the Panthers. 49ers coming off of a win over the Saints. Now, we look at these teams' track records. The Cardinals have beat the Saints and the Panthers. Little spoiler alert, both those teams are in my bottom 5 in my power rankings. The 49ers beat the Saints, and they beat the Seahawks, who in week 1, a division game, could go either way. I'm not sold on either of these teams. I am going to take the 49ers strictly because even though they are going to be playing with Mac Jones more than likely, I just think they're going to win this game because the Cardinals have really struggled in the division these past few years, and I don't think that's going to change. I think this will be a very close game. I don't think it'll be very entertaining. So, yeah. Sunday Night Football, this is a fun one. Chiefs 0-2. Giants 0-2. Chiefs barely lose to the Eagles. Giants barely lose to the Cowboys. Who's going to win this one? I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I don't see the Chiefs starting 0-3. I think Russ had his miracle game last week. I don't think he's going to nearly come close to what he did. I think the Chiefs are going to win this one pretty convincingly. So much so that they are my lock of the week. I did wait to the very end, nearly only one other game to go. But the Chiefs, my lock of the week. If you don't know what lock of the week is, I'll quickly explain it. Every week I pick one team only to win their game. If they win, yay. If not, no. It's basically the Eliminator Challenge on ESPN, where you can only pick the team once, so you got to pick carefully. Except I keep that rule, but if I lose, it's not over. It's just it counts to my record. So give me the Chiefs. I'm riding off with the high of going 2-0. So hopefully they don't ruin it. I would be so upset if the Chiefs out of all teams ruin it. But finally, Ravens, Lions, Monday night. Both these teams 1-1. Both these teams getting great bounce back wins. I'm personally going to go with the Lions. I think this is going to be a high-scoring nail-biter. And we saw Baltimore in week 1. That's just a game I think the Ravens are going to lose. It's going to be one of those where, man, the Ravens are so good, but they have just had a brutal schedule to start. That's going to be the talk. They're going to lose this game. It'll be literally around that Bills-Ravens score. It'll probably be both teams putting up, high 30s, low 40s. But I think the Lions are going to, unfortunately, win this game. To quickly recap my picks, we have the Bills, Vikings, Texans, Colts, Commanders, Rams, Panthers, Patriots, Packers, Buccaneers, Broncos, Seahawks, Bears, 49ers, Chiefs, the Lions all winning their games, with the Chiefs being the lock of the week. If I did not say the team, it means they are losing. To recap as well, I am 14-2 last week, 29-3 on the season. I'm 2-0 in my locks. There's no teams on the bye week. We don't get those until, I believe, week 5. If you quickly want to see the playoff picture, I'll talk about it. No teams obviously eliminated. No teams have clinched. But looking at the 1 seeds, they would get the first round bye. We have the Colts and Packers. 2 seeds being the Bills and Eagles. 7 seeds would be the Patriots and Falcons. 3 seeds being the Chargers and Buccaneers. 6 seeds being the Ravens and Rams. 4 seeds being the Bengals and 49ers. And then 5 seeds being the Raiders and Cardinals. Alrighty. That is going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did. I will see you guys next time. Which should probably be Raiders franchise. I'd be upset at myself if I didn't get one of those out in the week I have before Power Rankings come out again. So yeah, see you.